Good afternoon, Pool Player Nation. Welcome to Orlando, Florida for continuing coverage of the 2023 U.S. Amateur Championship presented by APA, and our coverage brought to you by our friends at PoolDog.com. I'm your host, Jason Bowman, and I'm joined by Team USA Moscone Cup Captain, Double J, Jeremy Jones. Jeremy, day's moving right along here in Orlando. Already third round action in the women's division of this year's U.S. Amateur Championship.
Yeah, absolutely. Our defending champion, Stacie Bourbeau, gets sent off out here in the stream table. Her third round, a bye and a win, so she's going to be tough, and we'll see what Zaguirre can bring her.
Yeah, so the Women's U.S. Amateur Championship comprised of 44 of the top players from across North America. Jeremy mentioned our participants, and we'll meet them here momentarily, but let's take a look at the U.S. Amateur Championship format. Of course, the women's division is a double elimination race to 8. 3 games of 8-ball up to 6 games of 9-ball. Now, the winner of the lag can opt to choose either the format or take the break. So we've seen it go a couple ways in our first 2 matches. First match, we saw the winning player opt for the format. Second match, winning player opted for the lag. So, as I mentioned, the 2 participants we'll see in this event, we've got from Milton, Ontario, Kathleen Zaguirre, and from Orange, Massachusetts, as Jeremy mentioned, the defending champion, Stacie Bourbeau. So, tough assignment for Kathleen Zaguirre. I believe the ladies are about ready to go, so let's take you down to the pit for the start of round 3 of the women's division of the U.S. Amateur Championship.
Yeah, we'll see Kathleen to get us started breaking 8-ball after losing the lag, and Stacie Bourbeau choosing 8-ball.
Opting the format over the break. Interesting.
Well, I'll tell you, she may have changed her mind if she saw her opponent break the balls prior. Really nice opening spread. Now, Stacie, who got a bye in her first, didn't win a match, so. And Zaguirre, I'm not sure of her route to this third round yet. Maybe a bye and then another win. But
Okay, so Stacie's had a bye but has not played today?
No, she has played.
Oh, she's got one match played as well. Okay.
So I was going to say, yeah.
She got a little warm-up then.
Yeah, they both got to swing the cue a bit. None on the stream table.
Yeah. That's a tough assignment for Kathleen here. See what she can do. This is her first time at the U.S. Amateur Championship. Tough first assignment, trying to take down the defending champ. You get your first look at the defending champion, Stacie Bourbeau.
I think Stacie trying to...
Looking for some chalk.
Yeah, I thought she probably had hers out on the table.
Stacie, a U.S. Amateur Championship veteran, has been in many of these events.
Yeah, and I talked to her before the match. Seemed pretty calm, happy to be here. Yeah, and you never know what a win like that last year can do for a player confidence-wise. Usually, you know, you can get settled for a moment, but normally that would drive you to play even better. Kind of feel like that's probably the case here with Stacie. And difficult little out here. It is doable, but she'd want to shoot the 9-14 and then hold for the 10 up in the corner, I suspect.
Stacie's actually a 2-time U.S. Amateur champion.
I think I actually knew that. I think
she won the event back in 15 and then followed it up last year in 22. So she is vying for her 3rd, which would tie Tina Larson. A long way to go here still for Stacie.
And I'm not sure if it was last year or years prior that she was telling me she was a past champion, and I think it was years prior, just because she was telling me she just hadn't brought her game to this U.S. Amateur since.
Yeah.
And well, that wasn't the case last year.
Well, she's got 2 championships secured at our old host location, Strokers. We'll see if she can pick up the trifecta in our new home here at the Wyndham in Orlando.
And stroking the ball nicely here in game number 1. rules are, if you believe anyways, if you make a solid, you are solids after the break, and that's what we saw Kathleen take on a very difficult long shot on the 7 to open this rack. This is all about speed control here. I think she did hold for that 12 ball, but overcut the 15 doing so. So our first real good look at Kathleen, and a very doable shot to start, whether it be most likely the 4 or the 5. My first look at Kathleen play. She's trying to come across and get on that difficult 7. If she happened to hit that little gap, she would have taken it on. Could use the 3 later on to get on that gap on the 7.
Again, Kathleen is from Ontario, Canada, been playing pool for 20 years. She wanted to make sure we gave a shout out to her friends and family back home. She mentioned Legends Billiards, JJQ's Billiards, Beverly Wilson and the CPA of Brantford, all big supporters of her journey here. Came a long way. Be down here in Orlando.
Yeah, this cold probably doesn't bother her a bit. In fact, Stacie was saying the same to me. I was like, man, it's cold in here. She's like, what are you talking about?
Yeah. Stacie Bourbeau back to the table here. Mentioned Stacie's a 2-time champion. I will mention, though, we've had several multi-time champions, Jeremy, in the women's division, but never a repeat champion.
Oh, wow.
Never had a back-to-back winner in the women's side. I mentioned Tina Larson has 3 titles, Amy Chen 2 titles. The late Tammy Jones, 2 titles, but none in back-to-back years. So Stacie, if she can get the trifecta this year, she would be doing it in back-to-back appearances, and that would be a first, but still a long journey for her. Things are just starting to get interesting here in Orlando.
Yeah, Tammy Jones, what a great player.
Absolutely.
Just a great ambassador for our sport throughout so many decades.
Yeah.
Learned a lot from that lady. Used to reside in Texas for quite some time.
Yeah. Eventually found her way to Indiana, and we lost her a couple years back now. She spent a lot of years as an APA league operator as well.
Oh, nifty. The nifty trying to use the 8 ball to get complete snooker, and she has done so. So not only a great shot, it left a very difficult hit here onto a brown 7. This is rare when you get the snooker behind a ball, playing 8 ball with your opponent having so many balls they can kind of kick at. To get this snooker is not easy. Love to go by the 13 and just nip the 7. Maybe pocket it in the side or that upper corner. In these first games, you know, tournament pool, they're all big, but in this race to 5, even more magnified, I think, as far as mentally anyways. You can feel a lot of pressure if you get down 1-0. Smart shot here. She's going to get a little reward, and what I mean by that is there is a 15 ball, but not going to be easy to draw position on the 13 for Stacie. Now, Stacie does have power in the stroke. See an occasional player that just kind of rolls their ball around a little bit, but Stacie, she can do it all. I think a little bit much. Maybe she has a look at that 13. I think it's the 13. Maybe that's the 12. Now here, Is she able to roll this in and hold position below the 8, or is she going to work the cue ball up above? Okay, now you want to be with 3 pretty easy ones, or let's say very doable ones on the 3, 1, and 6. You want to be thinking about the 7 that's a little tucked away. Probably got a little more movement out of the cue ball than she expected.
Again, this is Kathleen Zaguirre taking on the defending champion, Stacie Bourbeau. This is the first rack of 3 that we'll see in the 8-ball set before we move over to 9-ball.
Yeah, it looks like she's going to take a little gamble trying to pocket the 6 in the corner. Now, it does have an angle to bring the cue ball down. So it's a gamble that should have a little reward. That one got away from her a little bit. It's opened up a nice shot for Stacie, and just got to draw some position on the 8.
Definitely don't want to do Stacie any favors if you can avoid it. She pounces on the mistakes quickly.
Marker pocket for the 8.
Rattles it a little bit, but the 8-ball does drop, much to Stacie's relief as she takes a 1-0 lead in this race to 5. As the ladies prepare the next rack, we're going to hear a quick word from our sponsors. And welcome back to continuing coverage of the women's division of the 2023 U.S. Amateur Championship. Defending champion Stacie Bourbeau here with the break. Second rack of the 8-ball set. And that will be a dry break for Stacie. Bring Kathleen Zaguirre back to the table, trailing by 1 game in this race to 5. Kathleen out of Ontario has made the trip, one of 44 women to make the trip down here to Orlando. Let's usher in this new era of the U.S. Amateur Championship here at the Wyndham Orlando Resort.
Yeah, really good fundamental with the stroke there, moving the cue ball down table. And the balls are spreading nice off the break, just not many finding the pockets. Okay, now she's going to have to knock in a tough one, getting the cue ball here on the bottom cushion. Maybe the 5 up long, maybe the 1. Problem with the 1 is, what does she really get position on if she does knock it in? What a great shot. Really natural ability here. Looks like probably the 3 next. Could be the 4, but she can shoot the 3 and hold the cue ball there, maybe a little bottom English stroke. She could roll it as well lightly.
Not much light there. Bring Stacie back to the table.
Yeah, an 8-ball, you always want to find the 1 ball that's kind of pinned away by itself. And the one here is the 12 ball near the 5. It's open, but still requires some good positions. Can't get on it now, but you don't want to wait too long on it. Nice shot there, and now she has a lot of choices. Maybe takes away the 9 and 10. That's what I would look at doing, and then come down, back down table to take away the last 4 remaining stripes. Again, the 12's the concern. I like the 10 a little better than the 9 here, just because the 9 leads you to the 12 a little easier. A little tougher shot on the 10, but for Stacie, that's not really going to slow her down. It's more about what the pattern says more than, one shot being a little more difficult than the other.
9 in the corner now for Stacie.
Now she's just got to make a decision on the 15 here in a moment. She's going to pick off the 12 and then the 13 and 11 in some kind of order, and then the 15 last. Well, the stroke looks pretty good to start, Jason.
Mm-hmm.
A little straightish, a little on the rail, so she's going to have to slow roll this ball, it looks like. Oh, she's going to jack up instead. So this makes for a little missable ball. Well, she held much straighter on the 11 than she anticipated. So now a lot of work to get on the 15. Very skilled player, obviously a 2-time champion of this event, but
very confident shooter.
I wonder what she does. Looks like she's powering up a little bit. A low left English, trying to get out there for the 15. I think the bank may go. She's hitting a high ball, so we'll see. That was as thin as you could hit one. Cue ball went back and forth some 4 rails before the 15 didn't go, but about 10 inches down the rail.
Kathleen Zaguirre back to the table, trying to even this match at 1 game apiece. Again, race to 5. Second game of the 8-ball set.
She's really got issues just because the first shot is not easy. The 3 is very playable. I think it'd be something like the 3, but she's wanting to play a bit of a two-way shot if she misses. Not leaving a shot for her opponent. Pretty smart. See a lot of this in 8-ball, Jason. I mean, why take a chance? You know, the game's designed to where one player takes on the run out and they don't quite get there. They know they're going to be up against it a little bit. A lot of the open players now filtering in to get some practice in before tomorrow. She has to apply a little spin to this, just a little bit. Oh, beauty.
Oh, followed it in with the cue ball, so the ball will stay pocketed, but Kathleen will now have ball in hand with just 5 balls on the table here. You know, one of the benefits, Jeremy, of this bigger venue, more tables, which means a little less intensive round schedule, I think, for the players this year, which is nice.
Yeah, and more space between
not as many
the
late
tables.
nights, right? Yeah, plenty of space too.
Which people don't, you know, you got to think of all kinds of things when you run any event. You know, it's just an immense job. And
seating, yeah. Most people forget about the seating.
Well, tables close together really slow your matches down as well because you're having to wait for one opponent, you know, which is, of course, the right thing to do, but does slow down over 4 or 5 days. A little off angle here. So going forward would be like, you know, textbook, perfect thing to do. But I like her just pinching this back and taking the shot on the 6. Not that difficult. All right, looks like she's willing to put a little English on this, so should get by the 9. Or excuse me, by the 8.
Chance for her to pick up her first point of the match. Draw even with Stacie if she can pocket this 8. No problem there for Kathleen Zaguirre. She will have the break in the 3rd and final set of the 8-ball rack. And while the ladies prepare for that 3rd and final rack, we're going to hear a quick word from our sponsors.
Hey, listen, I know that you don't play pool, but my league team is looking for someone tonight who's never played, so you're coming with. Great, I'll see you there. Hi, guys.
Hey, how you doing? Hey,
Welcome. Welcome back. I can't believe it. You did it. We're going to Vegas. Vegas, baby. Oh my.
We are back with continuing coverage of the women's division of the U.S. Amateur Championship. Again, thanks to all of our sponsors, PoolDog.com, Aramith Billiard Balls, Action Cues, and of course our friends at Diamond Tables who have brought in these beautiful 9-foot tables this week. Kathleen Zaguirre with the break. Another dry break, Jeremy. We've seen quite a few today.
Yeah, Kathleen playing the second ball break, not contacting the head ball. Got a little movement on the 8 right there, but this is what happens with the second ball break every now and again. When you don't make one, there's a lot more congestion. So some players look at it like, well, if I make one, I'm okay. If I don't, it's like almost like playing a little insurance against your opponent. They think if they do run out, they're going to have to run out a very difficult rack. And that's what we have here in Game 3. In fact, Stacie's not even going to take one on. She's going to play a nice little light safety underneath.
Final game of the 8-ball set here before we move into the 9-ball portion of the format. Always a big game. Determines the break in the 9-ball set.
Both ladies playing a couple smart shots there to start. She was trying to get the cue ball back underneath that 12. But of course, the 9-ball is a little faster and looser than the 8-ball, but we see it right here with, like I said, a very difficult rack. Okay, interesting here. Maybe taking on the 1-ball, maybe? She's starting off very confident in this match. I'll tell you, that's a difficult shot to take on, knowing you're giving up quite a bit of the table if you miss.
Confidence is not an issue with Miss Bourbeau.
If the 2 goes, that looks like the ball to knock in. I think the 2 and the 6. No, that's a great view. The 2 is very tight. So she's going to play the 3, come across, maybe bump some balls here.
Kathleen Zaguirre back to the table. And she is competing for the first time ever in the U.S. Amateur Championship. So her goal is to continuing improving in the game to be competent enough to play in the open division.
There you go. Well, she's got skills. You can see that last rack made some really nice shots. And what I like with any player is when they're a little free with the swing, they're not trying to be so accurate, or, you know, it's easy to be that way whenever you're in a nervous situation and you want something so bad. You don't want to make a mistake, but the key is to free it up a little bit. That's when you really start to feel like your normal self as much as possible. Okay, the 10. I don't know if the 11 passes the 8. That would be a nice ball to get on next. That's the ball in the middle of the table by the 4. She's got some issues, though. The 9, I don't know if that's playable. So some problems to take care of.
Should mention that the U.S. Amateur Championship entry window for 2024 opened today with the beginning of the event. You can go to our website, get signed up, compete in a preliminary round next September, and the top players will then advance back here to Orlando next November. Trying to secure that title, U.S. Amateur Champion. Well, apologizes, but she'll take it.
Yeah, that's part of it. Make a good hit, something goes. It does count. Seen it through, or at least the U.S. amateurs I've been at, I've seen it, throughout the events, but it seems like as the event goes on, you don't see it as often.
But Kathleen would love to come out of this 8-ball set with a 2-1 lead in the break, wouldn't she? Playing against the defending champ.
Yeah, and she obviously plays a lot of 8-ball, but just watching her swing the cue, just like Stacie, I know 9-ball's involved as well. So any lead for either of these ladies would be kind of huge in that 9-ball session and this race to 5.
Stacie Bourbeau at the table once again.
I don't think she minded that miss so much. Kind of played it at a speed to where she knows this is an important game. So she's trying to make sure Kathleen doesn't have anything easy getting on that 9-ball. Can't really keep her off the 12, and the 11's difficult also, but the 9's very difficult with three solids kind of surrounding it. Could get at the 9 now, trying to open it. Oh, that's what she was doing, just like we had earlier. Just took her eye off maybe the object ball, thinking about the cue ball. Now, Stacie, the balls are open. Does she try and get on the 3 now, knowing she has the 4 there, just in case she doesn't get on that 3? The 3's tough. Yeah, she was trying to float for that cut shot on the 3. So she wants to knock this in, come across the table. Taking a second look. Maybe she doesn't have it.
We've mentioned our sponsor. We want to make sure we give a special shout out to our friends at pooldog.com. Now's a great time to order your free catalog from them. Christmas season just around the corner. Of course, they are a big supporter of all of our streaming. Go to their website, order that catalog. That lets them know that you appreciate their support of these events. So again, go to pooldog.com, order your free catalog, and get a jump start on the holiday season, the shopping season. Can't go wrong for the pool player in your life, right?
That's right. And if you don't have one in your life, you should go find one.
You can join an APA league and meet one.
There you go.
I can transition plugs all day, Jeremy.
That's perfect. Well, Stacie can do it too. She's making a really smart out with the cue ball and the plan. After she knocked into 3, I was trying to look at what I would do, and I was thinking maybe shoot the 4, come over to the rail, but she was real smart. She was on the 2-ball already, so she took care of that problem, and looks like these last 2 aren't a problem really. Should get a 2-1 lead here in a couple shots.
2-1 lead and a break in the 9-ball set. Now, did you say Stacie won the lag here and
Yeah,
opted for 8-ball?
that's
So
right.
she gave up the break. So if she comes out of this 3-game set with a 2-1 lead, kudos to her.
Just got to avoid the 9 here. Don't scratch off the 9 somehow.
No problem there for Stacie Bourbeau. Now takes a 2-1 lead into the 9-ball set. Pull a few of those balls off the table while we've got a moment. Let's hear a quick word from our sponsors. This is Jonathan Neiman at the table, or as some have affectionately referred to him, the Mullet Man.
And he did tell me that he's going to cut it all off if he wins today.
Really?
So, oh, yeah.
And he's got it. Jonathan Neiman, Wilmington, North Carolina, your 8-ball classic champion in the red tier, folks.
How's my hair looking?
Your hair is looking good. In fact, I believe Ava and Jason were talking about it, that if you won, you were going to cut it.
I did say that. I did say that.
It's so worth it.
And we're back here in Orlando, continuing coverage of the women's division of the U.S. Amateur Championship. Your defending champion, Stacie Bourbeau, with the break once again. We have transitioned into the 9-ball set. Stacie carrying a 2-1 lead in this race to 5. Powerful break. Gets the 9-ball moving, but nothing doing.
Yeah, well,
No balls.
the ladies have broke the balls well overall on this table. It's just been a tough table to make balls.
Just
Jason.
not finding the pocket.
Yeah. See the same thing in the pro events to where it's the same TV table, the same kind of rack, and just seems like one day to the next it can change. It's really amazing. But
Well, we've talked about the fact that it's relatively cool here in this arena. I don't know what impact that's having on the table.
normally the table will start to get a little sticky when it's
Yeah.
cold, and that could cause a little problem. I don't really see that the way the table's playing, but never know with the ranking side of things. So nice opener there on the 1.
Kathleen Zaguirre at the table out of Milton, Ontario, Canada. Her first U.S. Amateur Championship appearance. Tough draw trying to knock off the defending champ on the TV table.
Well, and Stacie's just, if you're around her, you can tell she's a confident
Oh,
person,
yeah.
confident player, and going to be even more confident being the defending champion. And after winning a match with a bye in the previous round, so.
See last year's runner-up, Rachel Lang, taking in this match. Maybe taking some notes, hoping to get another shot at Stacie.
Yeah, we don't have the draw right in front of us, but could be maybe a potential opponent of hers in the next round or so. And if you're going to,
If you're going to take notes, you might as well do it on the defending champ.
Yeah,
right?
you can learn something from all these players, but certainly from Stacie, and it seems like a very capable Kathleen Zaguirre.
Yeah. The moment doesn't look too big for Kathleen, does it?
Well,
Quiet confidence with her, too.
Yeah, she just kind of dropped into her playing kind of mode, it seems like. Trying to hold behind the 6 here, maybe. Pretty good effort. Did come up a little bit, but nothing easy. And you think about why a player, if Stacie felt like she had an advantage playing 8-ball, she knows that's early in the set. There's only 3 games. If you win 2 of them, that's a pretty good way to head into that 9-ball side of things. So we'll have to get a little interviews on, or a few discussions on why they might pick 8-ball or 9-ball from one player to the next.
I feel like you never see that in the open division.
Yeah.
They always take the break. I mean, almost always take the break. But today, we've seen it twice already.
Well, maybe
The 3 matches we've had.
they got a view at how
take
this
the
table's
format.
breaking tough.
Could be. Maybe they know something, a little inside information, huh?
Big one in the corner here for Stacie. She gets this one down, probably gets out. Ball's got to go a little bit. Boy, she came to Orlando with plenty of practice prior, you can tell. Oh, yeah, the commentator's curtain right away. Immediately,
Yeah.
if not sooner.
Well, maybe you can balance it out and do that to Kathleen.
I'm not doing it on purpose, Jason.
Just seems to be the way it goes sometimes.
That's right. Okay, funny one. Anytime they're deep, the cue ball is always a little tricky. And she wanted a little more, but seen her knock one of these in already in the 8-ball. If she can knock this down in the corner. Ooh, that looks treacherous in the side there, Jason, and doesn't offer the best position. I think I'd have to take this one all the way down.
See if she follows your advice.
I think
Decision time.
her gut's telling her to corner, keeping her away from the side. And you can use a little of the rail, pocketing this ball. She's overcut it a little bit.
Watch out. Scratches to boot. Can't give Stacie Bourbeau opportunities like that.
Oh, she'll
Chance to take a 3-1 lead now. Ball in hand.
Well, we saw her not only early in this match, but last year, even when opportunities weren't there that much, she really kind of made it work. But certainly ball in hand with 2 on the table.
Pockets the 9 in the corner, takes a 3-1 lead in this race to 5. She will retain the break. And while we prepare for the next rack, we'll hear a quick word from our sponsors.
and this is really going to help your game tremendously and truly put you to the next skill level. Hey guys, I'm Fernando Kohler, also known as Venom. I'm a professional pool trick shot artist, but also a league operator for APA in Las Vegas. There we go. Thank you. This one is using actually 10 balls. So what exactly is a tangent? There's, in my opinion, 3 types of bridge: the closed bridge, the open bridge, and the rail bridge. We're gonna start with the closed bridge. Now, if you practice this, it's really gonna help you to go from a 2 to a 3. In this episode today, we're gonna cover how to go from a 3 to a 4. Let's get into it. The more you're gonna do it, see, as you can see, I touch sometimes a little bit of it. And 8, right? So to technically have 8 zones for 10 balls, so you have a little bit of room to spare. I really hope this was useful, and I cannot wait to see you for another video. Later, everybody.
All right, welcome back here to the Wyndham in Orlando, Florida. Continuing coverage at the U.S. Amateur Championship Women's Division. Defending champ Stacie Bourbeau has opened up a 3-1 lead over Kathleen Zaguirre. Bourbeau with the break once again in the 9-ball set. The 9-ball moving a little bit, but again, Jeremy, try break.
Yeah, table's been stinging on the breaking end of things today, but
All day. It's just been that way.
yeah, it's again weird how that changes. But you know, in longer races, we talk about some early rounds at some pro events to where one player can be a big favorite in a match and kind of work on some things, preparing for future matches. That's not the case here. I think Stacie's got all she can handle with Kathleen. Kathleen looks very capable to me, but she may at least, think about some things during some of these breaks if she goes on to win, because this is the table you got to win the title on.
Mm-hmm.
So a little something to think
Gotta
about.
get comfortable on it.
Which besides the break, she's her and her opponent both have looked awesome. A little unfortunate going into the 7th. She knew she was going to do that, but figured to catch more of a piece of it. Nice hit. Always good not to give up ball in hand, even though she did surrender a shot. Oh, watch out, cue ball. This could hurt.
Oh, yeah. Pockets the 2, but scratches across the table in the other corner. You don't want to give Stacie Bourbeau ball in hand up 2 games.
Yeah, and I think the 3 does play in the side or the upper corner. She's going to have to figure out a little bit of nifty position on the 4, but she could draw back for the 4 in the upper corner. She could go forward for the 4 in the corner she's standing near, which I like. I like this. Now she can naturally come across for the 5.
If you're enjoying our coverage of the U.S. Amateur Championship, would encourage you to go to pooldog.com, order their free catalog. cost you nothing. Goes a long way in supporting what we're doing here with the live stream. Again, that's pooldog.com. Order that free catalog. That's how they know you folks are tuning in.
Yeah, nice draw stroke there.
Stacie looking locked in now.
Yeah, she's looked good the entire match, really.
See him in the hall setting up for the open division, the photo shoot they're getting ready to start doing with all the players. It's one of the cool things about this event, Jeremy, you know, that you kind of get treated like a pro, right? You get this little media session before you get going and
Yeah, absolutely. And
get some nice graphics. I see a lot of players change them to their profile pictures and whatnot. It's kind of a cool thing.
was during, you know, they put in a lot of time to try and get here.
Mm-hmm. Eight ball. The corner. Narrowly misses that side pocket, but she's all good. Shooting on the 9 and for a spot on the hill, no problem. Stacie Bourbeau extends her lead to 4-1. She is on the hill. She will have the break, and we will be right back after a quick word from our sponsors.
Hey, listen, I know that you don't play pool, but my league team is looking for someone tonight who's never played, so you're coming with. Great, I'll see you there. Hi, guys.
Hey, welcome. Hey, how you doing? Hey, meet you.
Welcome back. I can't believe it. You did it. We're going to Vegas. Vegas, baby. Oh my.
Welcome back to continuing coverage of the 2023 U.S. Amateur Championship. This is the women's division. 44 of the top amateur players from across North America qualified for this event. You are seeing the defending champion at the table, Stacie Bourbeau, leading this match 4-1. It's a race to 5. And gets a ball on the break there.
Has a shot.
Shot on the 1.
And I don't know if you noticed there, but maybe a little what we were talking about. She took a little speed off. Now at 4-1, maybe trying to get
Making an adjustment.
a feel for this table.
Yeah.
I think it was consciously done too. I mean, she's a savvy player, Stacie.
Kathleen Zaguirre hoping for another shot. Going to be tough now, down 4-1.
Well, what a nice shot there on the 2, trying to make sure she got back on the proper side of the 3 to get easily to the 4. And tell you, still got to get that position on the 4, but this really opened up the rack to keep Kathleen in her chair.
Mm-hmm.
She's got to kill the cue ball a little bit one way or another. She may bump the 4 here. She comes 2 rails. Probably wanting to stay away from a little side spin. That would help her a lot. Looks like she'll go by the 4. Maybe bump it just a little.
Bumped it just a little.
Yeah.
Bumped it just a little. Good call, Jeremy.
Well, I could tell, and of course, knowing how smart she is, she had to hit it real light to lengthen the cue ball to make sure she could get between that 4 and 9. And you could tell with the little grimace on her face that it wasn't totally secure, but she's working it out. Going to spin down table, not too much. Well, how you like having a break and run maybe to finish your
Finish
match?
it out. That's the way to finish one off, right?
Absolutely.
It's a statement game.
And the only ball she's made on the break the entire match.
That's right.
Well, she might need a bump here.
The bump she gets. How do you do that?
She's trying to come 2 rails out for the corner, but with the ball out in the middle of the table, a lot of open space, so she's not going to shoot the 8 first, ladies and gentlemen. She's just sizing it up. I did that in
Little fake out.
I did that in a challenge match the other day.
Shot the wrong ball?
I've never done that in my life,
Wow.
once in my life.
Are you using a different
Practicing.
color palette of balls or something?
No, I just overlooked it.
Okay.
So, yeah, I've never done that. A lot of people have.
Wow. Look at this from Stacie Bourbeau.
Crazy.
Break and run to finish this match off 5-1. Strong performance by her.
Yeah, and great from Kathleen, actually. It was just too much Bourbeau in this match.
9-ball drops, and Stacie Bourbeau remains undefeated in her quest for a 3rd U.S. Amateur Championship title. And congratulations to Stacie. Folks, we've got one more match we're going to be bringing you this afternoon from Orlando, Florida. So make sure you stay tuned. Until then, we're going to say goodbye for just a little while. Thanks for tuning in.